Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another War of the Worlds video. Now, something I'm incredibly interested for in this game is to see how the military AI and military mechanics will really work. We know that it's still very far from finished, but from what we've seen so far it does look very promising. So in today's video we'll be taking a closer look at the military AI, military vehicles, weapons, pretty much everything that's military based in the new War of the Worlds game. Now before we get into it, if you haven't already, please do consider liking and subscribing, as your support is greatly appreciated. Let's try and hit 25 likes on today's video, that would be awesome, and please do consider subscribing as of right now we're still pushing for 2k, and if we can hit it by the end of the year, that would be awesome. And I am very interested to hear your suggestions, and I'm aware that sometimes Raf does actually watch the videos, so if you want to potentially see your ideas be implemented into the game, let me know down in the comments some stuff you're excited to see in the game. But with that being said, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's get into it. So, first and foremost, we know there'll be several military vehicles that we can use, as well as some that we currently can't use, but I'd assume that could be subject to change in the future. I mean, as I say, this is a solo run game, so things can change extremely quickly. But anyways, back to the point. Currently, we have a military truck, helicopter or attack helicopter, whatever your preference is, and even tanks. Now it's important to note that only 2 out of the 3 vehicles I've just mentioned will actually be playable, so no, you won't be able to attack your tripods with attack barrages from your helicopters. As of right now, as I just said, anything can change. Now the reason I've started with vehicles as opposed to stuff like the AI is because I find it the most interesting. Now sure, that's not a very good reason to choose it to talk about first, but there's a lot of not necessarily hidden details, but there's some features about the military AI vehicle system that I find really interesting. And the first one which I want to discuss is the fact that they'll consistently chase the tripods. So to sort of sugarcoat that, pretty much the military won't give up even if they've lost against tripods, which is quite cool because it means that you can have dynamic battles that you're not even there for. And I mean, it's inevitable that the military will lose, but in case some of them do hang on till the end of the invasion, it could be quite cool to see some military take down the tripods. And say that the soldiers get out of their vehicles, if somehow the vehicle still stays standing even after a battle, you will actually be able to take the mantle of the tanks, military trucks, not the helicopters sadly. However, yeah, you can drive about in these vehicles and battle the tripods for yourself. Another thing you'll be able to pick up from military corpses, if that's something you plan on doing, you'll actually be able to take their guns, rocket launchers, machine guns, whatever they have, you'll be able to take and use against the tripods. I mean, that is assuming you're bold enough to take on the tripods. If that's not really your thing, then you can also use them to take out bandits, but be warned, as far as I'm aware, there's no suppressors in the game, so if you shoot, tripods are going to come either way. So I should also probably like to mention that if you do happen to see a military barrage drive past you, it might be wise to go the other way, because they're both going to be attracting tripods with their vehicle noises, and they're probably headed to tripods anyway, so if you favour death, then, go with the military, do your thing, I guess. And that just about covers everything we know about the military so far, so, to make sure this isn't a 3-minute long video, I'll actually discuss some stuff that I would like to see with the military in the War of the Worlds game. So firstly, in the movie you may well remember that they were calling in airstrikes on the tripods. As we know, that was frankly utterly useless. However, I feel in the game it may well have a different use. So imagine this scenario. You've just merely escaped death from a group of tripods who were raining absolute hellfire on the military. As you're stumbling through the wreckage, you find a soldier with a still in use walkie-talkie. Now imagine how cool and useless it would be if you could call in like a military escort or military backup just to come and help you or pick you up to get you out of that area. I mean, sure, odds of survival are slim, but personally I'd rather risk my life with the military than putting it in my own hands. My next idea is something I constantly mention, I've even asked Raf about, and that's the ability to actually fly the helicopters. Now I know that this is a mega push. I mean, you have to consider stuff like what happens if you get out of the map boundaries and just how utterly pointless it is trying to attack tripods even in the early or later days even of the invasion with a helicopter, because let's be real, you'll just get heat rate down. However, we know just how hard this game is, so I'd rather go down in style in a helicopter than be stepped on by a 150-foot tripod. I understand that it would be incredibly hard to implement, but Raf, if you're watching, if you implement any of my ideas, please let it be the helicopters. But that does just about wrap up today's video. I'm sorry it's a short one. There's not an awful lot of news to really talk about that hasn't already been covered and, that I'm not late to. If you have enjoyed, please do consider liking and subscribing. Let's try and hit 25 likes on today's video. And again, I'm really trying to push for 2k, so your support is greatly appreciated. Let me know down in the comments what you're most excited for in this game. And with that being said, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope to catch you in the next one.